can't play both sides of the fence. And that's usually my issue with Melody is like,
Yeah.
she does a lot of both sides where she just wants people to like really break their backs to be in her presence. And it's like, girl, don't nobody got time for that. Hello, friends. We're back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kandron.
Hey, it's Dehjai.
And we are back. If you've never been here before, welcome. We do a cross section of pop culture and real life, and we're here for you multiple times a week. So we're gonna get started with some reality shenanigans.
Wow.
So it's been a lot. It's always a lot, but I mean, actually, it's calmed down a little bit from what it was a couple weeks ago when everybody was leaving their shows. But yeah,
or getting divorced.
But I did see a cast picture officially with Phaedra right there in the middle for Married to Medicine.
Glamorous.
Looking fantastic.
Okay.
Love to see it. We love to see Phaedra Parks. What else do we got?
So this morning, if you all are on our YouTube Shorts land, I was watching last night's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I have been saying probably for like the last 2 years of us being on this show, or recording our show, that Mel just needs to leave. She needs to leave the show. And so shout out to one of our supporters who commented. I'll see if I can find her comment. Basically my sentiment was just that Mel needs to leave this show because it's just not good for her. I don't think that it's good for her. She is insufferable in this situation, and she's gonna be insufferable because you're constantly being asked to talk to people and talk about things that you don't want to discuss. And not only that, but like
people you don't like.
It's people you don't like, and then constantly reliving the thing that tore your family apart. Like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
So one of our supporters, shout out to Carmelita. I'm just gonna put that up here. Hey girl, she said, for me, Mel is the only watchable one on the show. She is real, in all caps. The others are continuing to feed the audience fake storylines. However, there has been an organized effort to run Mel off the show by production and cast. She will leave when she wants to, not when Martell and crew bully her off the show she created so he can bring coleslaw on. LOL.
Interesting.
So I didn't address the coleslaw piece because he ain't even fooling with that girl, according to him and Sheree. And she's right. They definitely have like a lot of, fabricated storylines, but nonetheless, the rest of the cast is cohesive. She is the only combative member. So it's just kind of like going off and get your producer credit.
Correct. And here's my thing with it. I've always said, like, I'm a fun person to be around, but I'll be terrible for reality TV because my attitude is a lot like the people that we tend not to like. It's like, I'm not getting ready to do this with you. I'm not. And you have to do this with them for a good reality TV show. And I think that's what Mel is running into. I think even Joy ran into it a little bit with Love and Marriage DC of like, I'm not gonna be in a place with people I don't like.
I'm not gonna be out here shucking and jiving for.
But the problem truly is that is the nature of reality TV, is to put you in places and in situations with people you don't like to create conflict for the audience. That is what you signed up for to a certain extent. And if you're not signing up for it, then get your ass off of reality TV.
Hello? My thing is like, I followed up to that short and I was just kind of like, don't misunderstand. Like, I'm watching this scene where she's crying with someone who is a friend or maybe an associate about how this is not the life that she envisioned for herself or her children. And I'm like, to see this is the stuff that I'm talking about. Like, I understand why she is so insufferable.
Of course.
You know what I mean? But it's like, why subject yourself? My thing is, who willingly continues to subject themselves to be around people, places, and things that do not serve them? And these are things that she has said herself. Like, I'm so exhausted at the end of the season. So that's why I just go dark on everybody. And if that is constantly happening, then the common denominator, the common issue is you recording this show.
I agree. However, I will say this, and maybe an unpopular opinion. She's got children. She's a single mother of 4 children. This is, I'm sure, maybe if not her primary paycheck, it is the driving force for her other paychecks. So it's
Hello.
almost like she doesn't have a choice other than to do this show. I
Yeah.
mean, she has a choice, but she's probably going to have to downgrade her lifestyle substantially because, not to say the interest will last for a while, but the interest once you're off of reality TV fades pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else, any other money that she's making is due in part to this show. So that's probably why she's still on here. But again, I just feel
Yeah.
like you have to, if you're gonna be up here, you got to play ball. And I don't like this whole, and like like you said, I completely understand where she is. She did not think that she was, when she got married in her early 20s, she did not think that she was going to be divorced. When she was having all these kids, she did not think she was going to be a single
Be
parent.
divorced in the
She
way
did
that
not
she
think,
was. Yeah.
right. Yeah, she did not think that this was how her life was going to turn out. And so my heart does break for her and goes out to her. But, again, you have to, if this is the medium you're choosing to use, then, I mean, you got to play ball.
Yeah.
You got to play
The
ball.
only criticism that I have is that the melee, or not melee yet at this point, but the falling out seemingly of the relationship between she and Stormy,
Mm-hmm.
it's just giving bullshit. Like, girl, stop with this foolery. Like, nobody that's your real friend is gonna DM you to get your phone number. Like, if you
No.
wanted me to have your number, then you would have given it to me or sent me a text message
Correct.
or something. And then for her to get into these confessionals and be like, my real friends know this, that, and the third, so on and so forth. That's like a dig. And it's
It
like,
is.
oh, you have communication issues. If this girl was
Yeah.
your friend and you really felt like she was, as you claimed that she was, then you would have given her your phone number or let her know where it is that you all stand, as opposed to just ghosting her like that.
And she wouldn't have known, like, if she was calling you or texting your phone and she didn't know it was turned off and she just never received a response from you. You said yourself that you go dark. She could have just thought you were in your feelings or in one of your moods, and that's why she hadn't heard from you. So it's like you can't play both sides of the fence. And that's usually my issue with Melody, is like
Yeah.
she does a lot of both sides, where she just wants people to like really break their backs to be in her presence. And it's like, girl, don't nobody got time for that. That lady is married. She got small kids. She is not getting ready to do that. If she's trying to text you, she's trying to reach out to you,
And
the
you're not
answer in
responding.
that moment was like, oh my God, I forgot to, give you my new phone number. I apologize for that. I'm still in between phone numbers. I would have reached out or she could have sent the DM. Why she ain't send a DM? If listen, if I am not available or something happened to my phone, I am going to my DMs. I'm gonna log in. I'm gonna DM Dehjai. I'm gonna DM Joy. I'm gonna DM my cousins and be like, girl, just let the people know.
I done lost my phone, girl.
Or what, whatever, what have you. But I just
Yeah.
think it's a poor excuse. And if you, like you said, if she didn't want to be friends or friendly with Stormy anymore, I wish she had just said that instead of
Yeah.
like, oh well, why didn't you should have reached out. You haven't been reaching out. It's like, no, I don't
Like,
have
it's just
your number, dumbass.
not only that, but it's just bullshit because, girl, you did the same thing last season.
Mm-hmm.
And then made it out like Destiny was the problem and she was delusional and all this other foolishness, but then you're turning around and doing it again to another person. So now it's making Tisha look vindicated because Tisha
Yeah,
said that this is what you've done
it is what she's done, and we've seen her do it. And like I said, the only
now
reason why
twice.
she stays in touch 3 times, because she kind of did the same thing to Tisha, but
That's what I was saying. Like,
originally. So no, this is the third time. So Tisha, Destiny, then Stormy.
yeah.
And the only reason why she keeps Kimmy around is because Kimmy is her in for the show. And Kimmy is kind of like, I feel like Kimmy is very much like she could take it or leave it, and she's not going to run behind Mel. And I guess maybe there's a baseline level of respect with that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but Kimmy's like her in for the show. I don't feel like any of these people are her real friends, and that's fine. But again, if you're going to be on this show acting like y'all are friends, then you got to play ball. And
But I mean, even
she's
with
not doing
the
that.
Kimmy situation, it was clear that, like, yeah, you called or you text to check in and all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't, Kimmy did not allow it to be made out like we were really close and that we hung out like
Yeah,
that. She
absolutely
was
not.
very, very, very clear about their relationship. And I was just like, it just don't look good.
And even with that, Destiny, even with that, Mel seemed like she was kind of trying to have some pushback with Kimmy, and Kimmy was like, "We don't hang out. Like, what are you talking about?"
There ain't
It
nothing to
is
talk
what
about.
it
We don't.
is.
This is what it is. We cool. We no
We're
beef. We just don't
fine,
hang
and that
out.
is fine, but we don't hang out like that. So like, don't. And I
Mm-hmm.
respect that. So, anyways, I agree with you. Mel needs to get off this show.
I think it would
It's
just
not
be
good for her.
better for her because especially like here we are however many seasons in and you still crying about the situation with this man and what it has caused, not him per se, but just
Yeah,
what it has caused for your life. Like I just don't,
exactly.
you can't heal when you constantly having somebody else rip off the scab and you're
Yeah.
going through the motions all over again,
And
girl.
let's do Real Housewives of New Jersey right quick. I've been catching up. It's really giving Real Housewives of Ozempic because the girlies, they're going on Watch What Happens Live looking very, very gaunt. Very, very gaunt. And it's just like a lot. So apparently, maybe Marge, I think Marge maybe has admitted it. I have to check. I know that she was on it and she lost quite a bit of weight. And then Marge's friend Jennifer Kessler, who's on this season,
Mm-hmm.
she was on Watch What Happens Live and also admitted to taking some, I can't remember the word she said, but like some enzyme something something something.
Like,
And
girl, you
Andy
just
was
taking
like,
the PCOS and diabetic medication and making you skinny. Tell the truth or shame the devil.
and Andy was like, so Ozempic? And she was kind of like, she was like,
I
I don't know.
mean,
I
they're
mean,
not
it's
cutting
what
me a
it is.
check, so I can't really say what it is.
Right. And so she kind of was like, kind of pussyfooting around it, but she had all this work done and now she lost some weight. And also, who else? Oh, Dolores, who admitted to being on it, but said it was for another reason. And I'm like, Dolo, would you stop it? You have spent the last literal, what, 3 or 4 seasons evolving in front of our very eyes. Like your whole physical appearance is very, very different. And I don't even know that she had 10 or 15 pounds to lose, honestly. Like she
Hello,
looked nice. And then
it's
she was
teeny
kind of
tiny.
tweaking it. But anyways, all of this to say, like, I'm not judging anybody who does this. Like, do what you gotta do. But I don't know. It just feels these housewives for these little extra 10 pounds. I feel like you're causing shortages in the medicine to lose 10 pounds. Like, girl, go to I hate to just say go to the gym, but just like make some lifestyle tweaks or something. I feel like you could do the 10 pounds on your own. If it's more than that, I understand. But like, good God, y'all are
Yeah.
just doing the most. And apparently, like, there's tons of celebrities that are taking it for this reason and all of that stuff. So, anyways, I just wanted
Mm-hmm.
to bring that up, child.
Because
And
I
I'll
want
link
to
the
say,
article below about the shortage.
sometime last year is when it really became a huge thing because it's Ozempic, Manjaro, and I don't think people are saying sense. I always get the medicine wrong. Saxenda, Sandexa, something like that. I was on it briefly.
Mm-hmm.
But then of course, like insurance issues, I'm not on it now, which I need it
Yeah.
because I have PCOS. But yeah. So either way, the girls have been, especially if you get on
Wegovy?
Manjaro TikTok.
Wegovy?
Oh, Wegovy. Yes, that's the other
Yeah,
one. If you get
that's the
on
other one.
like weight loss medicine TikTok, it's like Manjaro,
Girl.
Wegovy, Ozempic, and they be talking about like how drastically it has changed them. But a lot of these women were some of them were like my size and had like similar conditions like PCOS, insulin
Yeah.
resistance, stuff like that. So they were on it and have been on it for a year. And I'm like, that's scary to me. I don't know that I want to, because I'm going to, like I told Ken offline, I am going to get back on it so I can help get my hormones and stuff in check and get my blood sugar together. Because just trying to do it the right way is not helping, or it's
Yeah.
not, nothing is happening to me.
And
So,
I'm not saying like
yeah.
there's no shade and no shame to me for like doing a little tweak here and there, taking a
Yeah,
little meds.
absolutely.
I guess my concern is just like, girl, I, I just
If you
it
don't need
just
it, that
seems
sounds
like
dangerous.
very, very drastic to lose these little 10 pounds that you may or may not even really need to lose. Like Dolores did not need a 10 pound. You know what I mean?
I'm
Like
like, girl, you're gonna be
it
walking
seems
around
very,
looking like a
very drastic.
bobblehead.
She is very, it's giving bobblehead. It's giving very bobblehead. What
Like,
else? You want to
shout
talk?
out to
Oh,
Lisa of Miami. She's very bobblehead because she's so
very
tiny.
bobble. Very bobblehead. You want to do Love is Blind or Real Housewives Ultimate Girl Strip first? Next.
We can run through Love is Blind real quick. The main critiques that I have is like, like we called it on last Monday, talking about the reality recap, and I was just kind of like, I don't think that Kwame's gonna go through with it. And then I said after that, if he does, it'll be because he doesn't want to embarrass her in front of everybody. And then sure enough, I'm like, wow, she's very much.
Which is why I respect Micah and her call. Like, no, I want you to say it because I don't want you just marrying me as to not embarrass me. Like, I want you to say it. I respected the hell out of Micah for that. Even though the outcome was not good, she knew that he still had questions and she did not want him feeling pressured. That was a real one move. I really respected the shit out of that.
But it's interesting to me too, because I feel like she got back what she put out, like what happened with her and Kwame. She got the same, like, in return with Paul.
Yeah, I mean, I agree a bit.
That was a quick turnaround for some karma. Like, god damn,
real fast, real fast. Of course, Tiffany and Brett. I was just like, the whole time. That was me the whole time. And let me say this. I am so happy that man went to that tailor. Okay. I was living for that moment. That man is precise. And I know he was talking to production on that side of the other side of that conversation. It was like, I know how I like my clothes to look. This is my wedding day. Basically saying, if I had done it myself, I would have got it right. Because I went to y'all's people, it's wrong. Find me a tailor. And I was like, go off, black man. Especially in a white suit. Do you know how crazy you look in an ill-fitting white suit?
Yeah.
I was just like, I lived for that moment because, like, tailoring is so important. So important. And especially on a day like that. You don't need to be looking like you just the Monopoly man just stepped off the damn Monopoly. Girl, get me a tailor. Loved it.
One thing that I will say in watching that scene, it was just kind of like, I just shut up. Like one of those situations where, you know how women, we talk about, like, there's certain men that can tell you what to do and those who cannot. And it was one of them moments where I was just kind of like,
got a little fire in there, huh?
But it was so precise, clean, smooth. Like he didn't raise his voice. He didn't flip out. Like,
and he's been like very mild-mannered and kind this entire season. So it was like, does he have any spice in there, baby? When them pants came out and they was wide as hell, he had some spice.
He was like, what
Brett said, get me a tailor. And I lived for it. I loved it. I just like, in the rest of the whole entire wedding and everything with them, I was just like,
I also love that moment when they're sitting in the old school pickup truck and she's like, come on, we're gonna go in the bridal suite and get it on real quick.
Yeah, very cute. They're just perfect. Like,
it was great. It was really great.
They look like they stepped off the top of a wedding cake.
True. I really hope that they jump the broom, but I also recognize too that, like, jumping the broom is really a Southern thing. It's not a whole lot of West Coast blacks that would do that per se. So anyway.
Yeah, so I just loved it.